I've always loved cards. Then I started playing poker. Loved it.
When I first came here 2 years ago, he's the first one that said, I want to tell my story because I want everybody to hear how God can help me and everybody else, right?
I lost everything and really had nowhere else to go. And so I was brought in here. I'm Vandell Lloyd. I'm an MT, which stands for a minister trainee. I'm a full-time client at the Phoenix Rescue Mission, and I'm a part-time staff member. I'm a Christian chaplain, I'm a certified financial coach, and I'm a peer support specialist. My life was just disarray. It was completely distraught. I was a compulsive gambler. I had a compulsive gambling addiction, so for the past 10, 12 years, all I knew was poker and blackjack, casino betting, online poker. So it got to the point where it was so bad, I needed to come somewhere. And hence how I ended up at the Phoenix Rescue Mission.
God took a broken man who had struggled with an addiction that was different than some of the other guys here, as his addiction wasn't necessarily substance abuse. But he's taken a man that's broken and rebuilt him from the inside out, and he's truly an example of transformation.
But I was in denial. I didn't think I had a gambling problem. I just liked to play poker, and sometimes I'd win and sometimes I'd lose. Then I began to play blackjack, and things went downhill pretty quickly. So I'm done praying that prayer, and then a few moments later, I see off in the distance there's a guy jogging along the beach. He sees me, doesn't really know the state or the condition my mind's in at the moment, and then he says, we make some small talk about the weather. Hey, nice day. Probably took 15, 20 seconds altogether. But he said these words to me. He said, before he jogged off, he goes, you know, every breath of life is a gift from God. And then he jogged off. And I was just like, okay. Couldn't be more plain than that. But I wasn't done. And I continued to gamble. And ultimately, I found myself once again in the same spot. Not thefts, but again, just losing everything. I've gone to the extent of telling people that my father died so they can send me money for his funeral costs so I can support my gambling habit. It was bad. When I say it was bad, it got really bad. And so, who does that? January, February 2015, I said, okay, Lord, you know what? Your word tells me that you are a rewarder of those who diligently seek you. So I'm going to diligently seek you in all that I do. So here's what I mean by that. My birth name is actually Vandell Lloyd. That's the name my parents gave me. So with that newness of life, I want a new name. Because Vandell is so associated with the destruction and the deceit and the gambling and the lies and the manipulation. I want a new name, Father. The Lord gave me a new name, Zacchaeus. The name itself, it means pure, it means innocent. I thank God for my addiction. Now that sounds weird. Who would want that kind of affliction? Well, if I didn't have that affliction, I'd still be a very prideful individual. I'd still be living my life the way that I wanted to do it, and I'd still be deceiving myself. So today I have freedom. The Phoenix Rescue Mission and my involvement here, it was the Lord that saved me, but He wrapped around me loving people. These people are the hands and the feet of Jesus.
Zacchaeus cares about the men. And so in addition to just fulfilling his roles and his duties here, he also is pouring into men here. Any man that needs his time, he's always available.
Kyle, I'm gonna agree with you and say it is rough.
I love it. I didn't think that I had a gift in teaching at all prior to coming to the Phoenix Rescue Mission, and I kind of got thrown into it, and I realized that I really enjoy it. We all want joy. We all want to have peace of mind. We all want to be loved. I think a lot of the times we go back to addiction or whatever the case may be because we're not content. So in the future, I could see myself with a spouse and some children, very engaged in the church, the local fellowship that I attend, possibly in a preaching or teaching type of role, and continuing to do ministry type of work. This is a place where you're gonna come across imperfect people, but it's also a place where you're gonna come off, you're gonna meet people who have your best interest in mind.
If you want hope, if you want provision, if you want a future, man, this place is a blessing. It's a huge blessing. I'm saved because of them.